So it's time to do the other Bozak speaker, right? So that one I just finished up. So I'm going to walk you through what I did on the first one by shooting some video on the reef fabric and the process I went through on this one. So what I have to do first is flip the speaker over, remove the bottom, which I think I showed in an earlier video. They're just, I don't know, maybe 10 screws in the bottom. Pull those off. Then what I have to do is working around the fiberglass insulation, or the insulation that I put in. I need to remove another 10 screws that screw the top right onto the actual cabinet itself. And it's kind of painstaking to do that, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like. The screws are in some pretty hard to get to positions. So I'll show you what that looks like. And then once I get the top and the bottom removed, that JVC console, the Nivico that I did, I built that little rolling stand for. Actually, that rolling stand is perfect to put the cabinet on, and then pull the fabric off, apply the new fabric, and put the top and bottom back on. So anyway, I'm not going to show you every single screw removal, all that kind of stuff, but I will, shoot some, I don't know, some highlights of what it looks like. So first thing I'm going to do is flip this over carefully, because I don't want to mar the finish. Flip this over, remove the top and bottom, and rip the fabric off, and then apply the new one. So I'm going to put this down for a second, get this in position, and show you what that looks like. Okay, the wrestling match is over. I'm getting this thing apart. There's the top. I put a piece of blue tape to mark the back, because I'm sure these are not going to be aligned perfectly. So I want to make sure I get it back into its original position. Had I been thinking, I would have done this initially when this was all empty. That's probably what someone was thinking about doing, but you live and you learn. So now what I'm going to do, oh, this one's a little bit different. So this one's one piece going all the way around. That's interesting. The other one was, well, I showed it in the earlier video. I don't think I'll have a long enough piece of fabric to do that, so I'm going to have to either cut a middle section, or just like the other one, staple and cut it, which is probably what I'll do. So anyway, on to removing this fabric. All right, Bozak with fabric removed. Need to go through and kind of dust this off, make sure all the dirt and debris has been removed from this. So I use my air compressor on a very, very, very low setting to blow these off, to blow all the dust off and clean it up. And then once I do that, I will start applying the fabric. And basically, what I do is I'll use the old fabric as a template, make sure I get the width close. And what I did is I went about maybe an inch or two beyond that. And then once I get it stapled in position, then I trim it kind of on the cabinet. So anyway, I'm going to go turn on my compressor, take this over there, dust this off, and then start applying the new fabric. And yeah, next shot should be with the fabric on before I start reassembly. So I do want to describe what I'm doing here. So I have to clamp it in position initially just to get it to where I can kind of work with the fabric. And each, the top and the bottom of the fabric has this little perforated seam. So I try to line that seam up right with the top edge, and then once I get it stapled, then I trim it, because that gives me kind of a guide to make sure that the fabric is kind of close to being vertical and parallel, if that makes sense. Right? So they're not, so basically the fibers aren't like crooked. So you can tell this side needs to be dropped down a little bit. So anyway, just wanted to show you that. Clamp it in place, and then I start with one of the back corners, make sure it's really taut, and then I'll staple all the way around like so. And then what I'll do is because this is the top. I'll move this onto the floor, put the top on, then I'll roll it over and then do the bottom. So I won't do it on this because I found yesterday with these speakers weighing 100 pounds a piece, right? If I try to move this with the top on, it's really tough. So it's easier to just grab it without the top, put it on the ground, flip it over, and then attach the fabric, and then I can start screwing it back together. So, and that makes the most sense because I need to screw the top, right, coming up from the bottom like that. So anyway, on to stapling the fabric. Okay, so here are the Bozaks all put together. The emblems I got, I thought they would be a little bit bigger. I wasn't really paying attention to how big they were. So they're kind of just like little dots there, which is fine. I don't really care. The rattle is back in the speaker, so the mid is most likely toast. So I'm going to pull that, take a look at it. I'll either, I don't know that I'll be able to repair it. It sounds to me like voice coil rub, so I'll probably just pick up another one off of eBay. And I don't remember, I think that's the, I have to look, I think that's the, it's either the 199 or the 201s. I'm not real familiar with Bozak. Which one's the woofer and which one's the mid? I'll just have to watch the video, open it up, and see what's going on. But I'm super pleased with how these turned out. Much better, I think, than the way they came to me. So I don't think I'll be shooting any more parts to the Bozak series. The only thing I'm going to do, like I said, is replace the mid in that speaker there. Yeah, so really not much more to say here. It took me about, well, about 90 minutes to strip the old fabric off, put the new fabric on, and actually get them to a position where I could test them out. So that really wasn't too painful. So anyway, enough rambling. If you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. All right, so here are the Bozaks. I know in the last segment I said, you know, my standard ending the video spiel, but I did want to show these kind of where they are at now and where they will probably remain for quite a while. I really enjoy these speakers. These are awesome. I love them in my office. You know, the work I did on you know, refinishing them probably isn't for everybody. I didn't know what else to do. I wasn't going to go crazy trying to figure out, you know, how to actually refinish the woodwork. The shelves in here are kind of distressed, right? So, you know, these kind of sort of go with that. I like how they look. I don't know. I like it. You can see this. My little rack that I use is some leftover walnut plywood from one of my son's school projects from a couple of years ago. So anyway, yeah, here's where they are, and here's where they're gonna stay. So again, I really like them. Interesting thing, I listen at very low volume. There's no discernible rattle at all. I know that I do need to change the mid in that speaker there, the one on the left, but there's no rattle at all because I don't listen very loud in my office. So, and Ralph is really stressed right now. Ralph, why are you stressed? And Stella, she's down for the count. So anyway, yeah, successful. I'd love to do another set of these. I'd love to get them in walnut and maybe refinish them, but these don't come up very often. So anyway, I'm just rambling at this point. So if you like what you see, hit like. You want to get in there, Ralph? You want to say bye to everybody? Yeah. If you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.